my dear friends, welcome to Learn It Edu. And today I am going to talk about Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot. Waiting for Godot is Samuel Beckett's first successful attempt of writing a drama. And he formulated the play in such a way that it shows meaninglessness or emptiness in the creation of character, plot, settings, dialogues, etc. And the play is the best example of an absurd drama. And in this video, I am going to discuss a few important questions which were asked for many exams and a brief description about the characters, settings and Waiting for Godot as an absurd play. Let's see the questions.
Samuel Beckett was born in the year 1906 in Dublin, Ireland. Beckett was the secretary of the famous modernist writer James Joyce, and he wrote an essay on Joyce which published as an opening essay in Joyce's book The Finnegan's Wake. Beckett was awarded Nobel Prize in the year 1969, which is his first collection of short stories published in the year 1934, More Pricks Than Kicks, which is his first proper novel, Murphy. His other famous plays are Endgame, published in the year 1957, Crab's Last Tape 1958 and Happy Days 1961, and both the plays were written in English. Waiting for Godot, published in the year 1948. The play was first staged in 1953 at Théâtre de Babylone in Paris. What is the French version of the novel Waiting for Godot? En attendant Godot, which means while awaiting Godot. And the play was translated by Beckett to English. What is the English subtitle of the play? Tragicomedy in 2 acts. Who wrote the play The Last Godot, in which Samuel Beckett and Godot are characters? Matei Vishnik, a Romanian French playwright. Let's see the characters in the play. Vladimir and Estragon, 2 tramps, Poso, Lucky, a messenger boy, and Godot, who never appears on the stage. And we know Vladimir and Estragon are the 2 main characters in the play. Beckett used Vladimir and Estragon to symbolize man as a whole. Vladimir is otherwise known as Didi, whereas Estragon is Gogo. The boy addressed Vladimir as Albert, and when Poso asks his name, Estragon says his name as Adam. Vladimir represents the intellectual side of man, so we can say he is logical, intellectual and empathetic, whereas Estragon represents the physical side of man, so he represents body. And Vladimir recalls what Estragon forgets, whereas Estragon forgets everything and he always depends on Vladimir and he is ignorant. But we cannot say that Vladimir is completely intelligent. He is also absurd like Estragon. And Vladimir suffers from asthma, whereas Estragon suffers from Alzheimer's. Vladimir is always obsessed with his bowler's hat, and Estragon always searches inside his boot, so he is obsessed with his boot. And we can have some more points about Estragon. He was once a poet, and Estragon thinks that suicide is the best way to die, and he always sleeps in a ditch. And somebody beats Estragon every day in the ditch, but he don't remember anything. And Estragon likes to eat carrot, and he always asks for carrots. Poso and Lucky plays a very significant role in this play. Poso is the master and a wealthy landowner, whereas Lucky is Poso's slave. Poso is arrogant and he believes that he is superior. And Poso can be seen as a symbol of capitalism and power structure, whereas Lucky is a representative of modern man. On his master's command, Lucky dances and performs. And in Act 2, we can see Poso becomes blind and Lucky becomes dumb. And Poso is compared to Estragon and Lucky is compared to Vladimir. And Poso always carries a whip in his hand. And in the hand of Lucky, we can see a heavy bag, a folding stool, a picnic basket, and a great coat. The fortune of Lucky and Poso reversed in Act 2. But in Act 1, we can see Poso is the master and Lucky the slave. But in Act 2, they become dependent on each other for their survival. The other characters we know, the boy who is a messenger of Godot. And Godot, who is an unseen person for whom the tramps are waiting. He informed the tramps to meet them on Saturday, but never appears. And the characters' names suggest different nationalities. Estragon French, Vladimir Russian, Poso Italian, and Lucky English. His purpose is to dramatize general human condition. In the play, Beckett is mentioning nothing about the nationality and past events of the characters. Let's see a few more very important questions from the play. What is the phrase that the two tramps repeatedly says? Nothing to be done. It is the opening sentence of the play by Estragon. What do the two tramps remember about the Bible? Vladimir remembers the story of two thieves crucified with Jesus Christ, and Estragon remembers the maps of Holy Land. Why is Lucky's dance called the dance of the net? Because he thinks of himself entangled in a net. Who calls Lucky's dance to be hard stool? Vladimir. Estragon calls the dance of Lucky to be the scapegoat agony. Poso says he is taking Lucky to the fair to sell him. What animal does Poso constantly compare Lucky to? Poso repeatedly calls Lucky a pig and a hog. He treats Lucky like an animal. Which is the tree referred in the play? It's the willow tree. How does the tree appear in Act 1? Having no leaves. How does the tree appear in Act 2? Sprouting of a few leaves. Who makes the statement, nothing happens, nobody comes, nobody goes, it's awful? Estragon. What is the last words of both the acts? Yes, let's go. In the first act, it is said by Vladimir, and in second, Estragon. The last stage direction in both the act is, they do not move. And Beckett usually ends in this kind of immobility. Beckett's own script notes best describes the setting of the play, a country road and a tree. A complete alienation from any particular country, and there are no marks of civilization. The time is evening. And in Act 2, 5 or 6 leaves appears in the tree. And that is the only change occurs between Act 1 and Act 2. There are verbal reference to the passing of time as yesterday and previous evening, and the time frame is most likely for 2 days. Let's discuss Waiting for Godot, an absurd play. The term absurd was first used by Albert Camus in his famous work The Myth of Sisyphus, published in the year 1942. It is very clear from the word absurd that it means nonsensical, opposed to reason, something foolish, silly, senseless, and ridiculous. And an absurd drama is a complete denial of age old values. It has no plot, no characterization, no logical sequence, and no culmination. It questions the very meaning of existence, which is full of sound and fury but signifying nothing. Beckett's Waiting for Godot reflects the absurdist position in the post war period where human beings are lost in the labyrinth of disillusionment. And nothingness constitutes the major concern for Samuel Beckett. Martin Esslin, in his book The Theatre of the Absurd, claims that Waiting for Godot does not tell a story, it explores a static situation. Everything is dead but the tree. The play is based on the theme Nothing to be done. And the gestured energy of the tramps waiting for the sake of waiting ends in They do not move. And Estragon and Vladimir wait for Godot, a person who never appeared before them. The play subverted all established canons of drama. A good play must have a beginning, middle, and an end. And here, Act 2 is the repetition of Act 1. And in each act, we see the same sequence. And the play represents time as a circular reality. Time is related to tramps' hopes and desire. We have the impression that tramps are nothing but the instruments of killing time. The lack of characterization is the hallmark of any absurd drama. All the characters do not grow during the course of the play, and their crosstalk reflect the very idea of nothingness as they have nothing to communicate. In an absurd drama, speech is reduced to minimum. The language is used just as mere game to pass time, as they have nothing to do. The characters cannot remember the events of the previous day, and Estragon's memory is so bad that he had all the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. Meaninglessness of life is an important point of an absurd play. Vladimir and Estragon spend the whole day for waiting a man named Godot, and they simply stay still and do not move. In the play, Nothing to be Done appears several times to show the nothingness of the two characters, Vladimir and Estragon. Beckett brilliantly portrayed the ending of the play to illustrate human life as being meaningless and absurd.
Here ends the video. I'm sure this class will definitely help you to prepare for your exams. And if you have any genuine comments, write to me so that I could improve myself for my upcoming videos. And if you find it is useful, do subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you.